Hello and welcome to the fifth video. So I have a surface and a box, and this box represents in real world dimensions the machinable area that we're going to be using. So it's a 3 by 3 by 1.5 inch tall volume. If I wanted to machine this whole surface, obviously it's not going to fit within this box right now, so I need to be able to rescale the surface. And I want to do this in the top view. So I'm going to right click on 4 default viewports just to bring everything back within view. And for what I'm going to do next, I'm going to just maximize my top view because that's what I'm going to be working in. So if I go to transform scale 3D and start that command, it asks me to select the object to scale. So I'm going to select the surface and press enter when done. And now it's asking me for an origin point. And the origin point when you're scaling is the point around which everything else is going to scale. So I'm going to select a point off of the surface to start with, and I'm going to left click to set that origin, and then I'm going to move across to the side over here and left click again to set my reference point. And now as I move my mouse, you can see that I'm scaling that surface. And I want to bring it within more or less the scale of this box down here. So by left clicking, I end that scale command, and now I'm going to just drag this over so it's superimposed with my box. I'm going to go back into my perspective view, and you can see that the surface protrudes on a couple of the sides but not the other ones. And so what I need to do now is sort of fine-tune my scale a little bit more. I'm going to grow this out so that it protrudes. And again, I'm going to do this in the top view. I'm going to maximize this. And I can't see the surface through the box right now. The box is in the way from the top view. So what I'm going to do is switch over to ghosted mode. And in ghosted mode, I can now see the surface along with the box. The box is sort of represented by this dark line, and the surface is clearly visible. So I'm going to rerun my scale command, scale 3D. Select the object to scale. You want to make sure that you select the surface and not the box itself. So I'm going to just select somewhere outside here and press enter. And now the origin point is going to be somewhere in the middle of this surface. So I just left clicked to set my origin, and I'm going to left click again to set my reference point. And now I'm going to just pull out until I'm roughly where I think I need to be, so that the surface is now extending beyond the box. And you don't have to do that with the top view maximized. I just did that because it's more visible that way. So now in perspective view, I can clearly see the terrain extending beyond on all 4 corners. I'm going to now make a copy of this, and to select both the box and the surface, I can just left click in an empty area and drag while I have that left click, the left button depressed, and when I release, it's going to select everything that's within that selection area. So I have both the box and the surface selected right now, and I'm going to hit Control C on my keyboard to copy, and then Control V to paste. And this is now going to make a copy of everything, so it's doubling all the information in this file, so it takes a little bit of time to do. And when it's done, I can see that I still have a selection. There's still a yellow area here, and that selection is actually the copy that I've made. So without deselecting, without selecting anywhere outside, I'm actually going to just left click in this yellow area and drag. And doing that will move my copy away from the original. So I now have two versions of the same thing, and you might want to do this in your file so that you can see the difference. And I'm ready to do my cut, so I'm going to just maximize this. And I'm going to go to Solid, Intersection. And it asks me for the first object that I want to use. It's going to be the surface. And I'm going to press Enter to select the second object, which is going to be the box. And then press Enter again. And again, it's going to take a second to calculate the intersection between these two objects. And when it's done, I can now see the intersection between those two. So this is just one object now as opposed to two objects. So that's how the Boolean intersection works. Keep in mind that if obviously anything that is outside of this box will get cut. So if my surface were to stick out a little bit, and I'm just doing this in the front view right now, I'm just moving that up. If that were to stick out like that, that would end up getting cut as well, and I would have a flat area there, which I obviously wouldn't want in this case. So I want to make sure that my surface is actually a little bit lower than the box, and I can do that in the front or the right viewport. And so that's how you would do an intersection. I have one more video that I want to show you with a couple more options on how to fine-tune things, so I'll see you at the next video.